Brett Favre, one of the greatest American football players, has left fans stunned with news no one expected. The legendary quarterback, known for his talent, is stepping away, not just from football, but from the spotlight. For years, Favre was the heart and soul of the game, breaking records and captivating fans with his passion. But behind the groundbreaking achievements lie some tragic moments too heavy to ignore. Those moments have ultimately led him to say his final goodbye to his football career. But what are these tragic reasons? Join us as we uncover the tragic reason behind Brett Favre's goodbye. The tragic reason: Brett retired. Brett Favre is a name that almost every football fan knows, being one of the most recognized figures in the history of American football. Brett played 2 decades in the National Football League, becoming one of the greatest quarterbacks. Favre had played for teams like the Green Bay Packers, New York Jets, and Minnesota Vikings. He broke records, won a Super Bowl, and inspired millions with his love for the game. But behind all the glory, there was a hidden side to his story. While Favre's time on the field was filled with unforgettable moments, it also came with struggles that many never saw. These struggles pushed him to say goodbye to his career not once, but 3 times. Each time he spoke about it, the reasons became clearer, revealing the toll the game had taken on him. The real story began with his unexpected retirement announcement. In 2008, after 16 incredible seasons, Favre announced his retirement. He had spent most of his career with the Green Bay Packers, leading them to a Super Bowl win and earning countless honors. To the world, it seemed like the perfect time for him to step away. Favre said he was tired, emotionally and physically. The years of intense games and pressure had left him drained. But for someone who lived and breathed football, walking away wasn't easy. Just a few months later, Favre returned, this time wearing a New York Jets jersey. The football world was surprised but happy to see him back. But little did anyone know that his return to the field wouldn't last, and an even more surprising awaited. After 1 season with the Jets, Favre announced his retirement again in early 2009. This time, it seemed more serious. He had suffered a painful injury to his throwing arm, a torn tendon that made playing difficult. Many thought this was the end of his story on the field. But once again, Favre wasn't ready to give up. Later that year, he joined the Minnesota Vikings. He amazed fans with his performances, proving that he still had the skills to compete at the highest level. In 2010, after 2 seasons with the Vikings, Favre retired for the last time. By this point, his body had been through too much. The injuries were piling up, and he even suffered a concussion in his final season. His streak of 297 consecutive starts had already ended, showing that even the toughest players have their limits. This time, there was no big announcement or dramatic press conference. Favre quietly stepped away, knowing it was time. It was the end of an era, not just for him, but for the entire National Football League. Since his eventual retirement, a lot of fans have been speculating about the real reason behind his decision, as numerous factors were cited across his multiple retirement announcements. Here is the tragic reason for saying goodbye to his career. Brett Favre's repeated retirements were more than just career decisions. They told a deeper story of the challenges he faced. While Favre didn't explicitly say he retired because of health, the cumulative toll of injuries, age, and the physical demands of the sport were undeniable factors. His final season was plagued by injuries, including a concussion, which made it clear that continuing to play wasn't safe. Additionally, years of playing had left him with many other challenges. Brett's goodbyes weren't just about leaving football. They were about finding balance in life after giving so much to the game. But having mentioned health concerns in his decision, what are the specific health challenges Brett Favre faced after years of playing in the National Football League? Brett Favre's health condition. Throughout his career, Brett Favre faced a dangerous reality that is common among athletes in contact sport. Although officially diagnosed with about 4 concussions, Favre estimates he suffered hundreds, probably thousands of head injuries during his 20-year career. At the time, such incidents were often minimized. A player who got dinged was expected to shake it off and keep playing. Favre has since revealed that these injuries had significant effects. He experienced symptoms like memory loss, confusion, and sensitivity to light, especially as his career progressed. Now retired, he worries about chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a brain condition linked to repeated head trauma. Although chronic traumatic encephalopathy can only be definitively diagnosed after death, Favre admits that the possibility is frightening. He has become an advocate for better concussion protocols, warning how much more dangerous football injuries are than players once believed. One of the scariest health issues Brett Favre faces is memory loss. In interviews, he has shared that even during his playing days, he would forget simple details, like plays or conversations he had just moments before. These gaps became more noticeable after he retired. Favre has spoken openly about his fears of dementia and Alzheimer's, which are common concerns for athletes with a history of repeated head injuries. Favre's forgetfulness has brought a new perspective to his retirement, showing fans the long-term effects of pushing the limits in a demanding sport. While he once relied on his sharp mind to make split-second decisions on the field, the long effects of his injuries now remind him of the cost of those years of excellence. Adding to his struggles, Favre has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. This progressive neurological disorder affects movement and coordination, leading to tremors, stiffness, and slowed movements. While the exact cause of Parkinson's isn't clear, Favre's history of head trauma might have played a role. Parkinson's disease has brought some challenges into Favre's life, making everyday activities more difficult. Tasks that were once effortless now require extra effort, and the progression of the disease means his condition could worsen over time. Despite this, Favre remains resilient, using his platform to spread awareness about the risks athletes face. But Favre's health challenges don't end with his brain. Years of intense physical play left him with chronic pain in his shoulders, knees, and other joints. During his career, he was known for playing through injuries, sometimes enduring severe pain just to stay on the field. He showed his durability by playing 297 consecutive games, a record no other quarterback has matched, but it came with a cost. His toughness made him a hero to fans, but the consequences of those decisions haunt him today. Favre has undergone multiple surgeries and still experiences discomfort. For someone who loved competition and being physical, adjusting to the limits of his body after football has been hard. While Favre's health issues could have made him withdraw from the public, he has chosen a different path. He has become a strong advocate for player safety, especially when it comes to concussion awareness. His openness about his struggles has sparked discussion on how to make football safer at all levels. Favre's experiences are a reminder that even the greatest players face battles beyond the field. Beyond his health, there were other concerns leading to Favre's retirement from professional football. Another obvious reason is his age. Age came knocking at the door. At 41, Favre was a seasoned veteran in a league dominated by younger athletes. In 2009, he defied expectations with an incredible season for the Minnesota Vikings, proving he still had magic in his arm. But by 2010, the narrative changed. Favre's performance in his final season showed a decline. He scored 11 touchdowns, but threw 19 interceptions. His body couldn't keep up with the speed of younger players. It became clear that age affects even the best players, and eventually retirement gave him the chance to leave before his skills declined more. But it doesn't end with age. Keep watching to know more reasons for finally saying goodbye to his career. Brett's career also saw a change in team dynamic. For years, Favre was the heart of the Green Bay Packers, the team with which he built his legacy. But the final chapters of his career were marked by change. Adapting to new teammates and coaches became difficult for him. While these moves gave him fresh opportunities, they also came with stress and uncertainty. The constant need to prove himself in his new team may have made retirement seem like a welcome escape. Additionally, the emotional strain was difficult to overlook. Football isn't just a physical game, it is both a mentally and emotionally challenging. For Favre, the pressure to perform at the peak of the after-year was overwhelming. By his first retirement in 2008, he openly admitted feeling emotionally drained. The cycle of training, playing, and facing relentless expectations wore him down. Even after returning to the field, the emotional stress didn't stop. By 2010, he likely felt it was time to prioritize his peace of mind over the endless demands of the National Football League. Linked to the emotional factor is family. His family may have also played a role in shaping his decision. Throughout his career, Favre had to make sacrifices, often spending more time on the field than with his loved ones. His wife, Deanna, battled breast cancer in the early 2000s, a struggle that changed his perspective on what truly mattered. After years of prioritizing football, he may have wanted to focus more on his role as a husband and father. Retirement allowed him to be there for his family in ways he couldn't during his playing years. Moreover, stress from the public pressure could have contributed. As Favre's career wound down, his life off the field came under investigation. Allegations of inappropriate behavior during his time with the Jets cast a shadow over his final seasons. While he continued to play, the stress of managing his public image and dealing with controversies likely added to his exhaustion. For someone who had built a reputation as a dedicated athlete, these issues may have hastened his decision to step away. And then there was the question of legacy. Favre's legacy as one of the National Football League's greatest quarterbacks was already secure. He had achieved milestones that most players only dream of. These include a Super Bowl win and 3 MVP awards. Playing on while battling with injuries and a decline in performance could affect his legacy. By retiring, Favre ensured fans would remember him at his best. Favre also saw life beyond football. Retirement wasn't the end for Favre. It was a chance to explore new paths. He became an advocate for concussion awareness, using his platform to educate others about player safety. He also got involved in charity work and business, showing there was more to his life than football. These opportunities gave him a meaningful way to stay engaged without the stress of football. Brett Favre's retirement was more than just a career decision. It was a reflection of a man ready to embrace a new chapter. But with Brett Favre's journey coming to an end, it's worth taking a step back to understand the man behind the legend. Who was Brett Favre before the spotlight, and what drove him to become one of football's most iconic figures? Let's explore his humble beginnings, the defining moments that shaped his career, and his groundbreaking achievements. Brett Favre's story will definitely interest you. Brett Favre's shocking background. Brett Favre's story began on October 10, 1969, in Gulfport, Mississippi, where he was born to Irvin and Bonita Favre. Raised in the small town of Kiln, Mississippi, Brett grew up in a modest household with his 3 siblings. His parents were both educators, with his father also serving as the high school football coach. The family wasn't wealthy, but they were supportive and instilled values of hard work in Brett. Brett grew up in a rural area where there weren't many luxuries, but it provided a foundation of passion for sports. Education was an essential part of Brett's early life, but he faced challenges. At Hancock North Central High School, academics were not his strongest suit, but he excelled in sports. Encouraged by his father, Brett participated in baseball and football, where he showed great potential as an athlete. However, his path wasn't without obstacles. He wasn't the fastest or the strongest player, and his throwing technique as a quarterback was unconventional. Despite these hurdles, Brett's passion for football grew as he watched his father coach. The combination of family encouragement and a love for the game sparked his desire to pursue football seriously. Brett's journey to success in football wasn't instant. After high school, he was awarded a scholarship to the University of Southern Mississippi. Unlike other young quarterbacks, Brett wasn't recruited as a starter. He began as a backup, but his determination and talent soon paid off. In his first year, he was suddenly made the starter in a game against Tulane and helped his team make a comeback win. This performance marked the beginning of his rise. As Brett continued at Southern Mississippi, he faced more challenges, including a fatal car accident before his senior year in 1990. The crash left him with internal injuries, and doctors doubted he would play again. Yet, just weeks after surgery, Brett returned to the field, leading his team to a memorable win against Alabama. This solidified his reputation as a player with resilience. Brett Favre's transition to the National Football League began in 1991, when the Atlanta Falcons selected him in the second round of the draft. However, his time with the Falcons was short. He struggled to find playing time, and the team's management doubted his ability. But things changed dramatically. Brett Favre's career took a significant turn when he was traded from one NFL team to the Green Bay Packers in 1992. Under head coach Mike Holmgren and with a supportive team, Brett finally had the opportunity to prove his skills. With the Packers, Brett quickly became famous. In just his first year, he replaced injured starter Don Majkowski and led the team to victory against the Cincinnati Bengals. His playing style and ability to improvise on the field earned him admiration. By 1993, Brett had solidified his position as the Packers' starting quarterback. Over the next decade, Brett Favre achieved groundbreaking success, cementing his place as one of the National Football League's greatest quarterbacks. He led the Packers to 2 consecutive Super Bowl appearances, winning Super Bowl 31 in 1997. That victory was significant, as it marked the Packers' first championship in 29 years. Favre's performance earned him praise, and he became the first player in NFL history to win 3 consecutive MVP awards. In 2011, Brett Favre retired from professional football for good. It was an emotional moment for fans who had watched him redefine the quarterback position and bring countless unforgettable memories to the sport. His departure marked the end of an era, but his legacy lived on. Brett Favre's story is one of victory against all odds, from a young boy with big dreams to an NFL legend. His career was filled with highs and lows, but through it all, he remained a symbol of passion. Though his goodbye to football was mixed with sadness, it also marked the beginning of a new chapter which allows him to reflect on a career that will forever be remembered. What do you think about Brett Favre's emotional goodbye to his football career? Do you believe his achievements on the field solidify him as one of the greatest players in NFL history? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, click on the next video on your screen. You won't want to miss it.